Welcome back to Bedlam, our chaos playthrough of Mordheim City. The Damned with me, Bardon. Wait, we're going to do this deadly one. Which means I need to launch and deploy. Because I need a bit more control over where guys go.
You quickly discover that you aren't alone. Another warband is looting the nearby buildings. Dispersed in the ruins, the scavengers present an inviting target for your warriors as they deploy near your wagon.
Okay. So we're going to be all together against sisters who are spread out a bit. But it's a deadly, so... gotta deal with them as quickly as we can. But, you know, I played enough with this warband to be pretty confident of a win. But the thing is, as I mentioned a few times, well, a lot of times recently, it's not really about the win. There's a couple of things, I guess, at play here. One is, let's see, let's get him there. Okay, yeah. So one thing to think about is the fact that it's getting your people through the fights is important. Okay, I want you there. Actually, no. Yeah. Or there. Yeah, there. Okay. Yeah, getting people safely through the fight is very important. The other thing then is, and I don't mind saying this, is my own enjoyment of it as well. You know, I want to be able to have fun with the game, and it's a lot easier, or at least I found, like with Warband, once it reaches this stage, I find it's a lot easier when the fights are a challenge, and if, like, there's certain tactics I can use. And if I were to use those tactics, let's bring him back here for a second. If I was to use those tactics all the time, I would probably win and not lose any of my people. Most times. Now, there will be exceptions to that, but most times I get a win. And as I said, kind of get to the point where, yeah, enemy can't really do anything. And doing that would be something like, take somebody fast, like, let's say, Simon here. Everybody else then goes and sets up in a building, let's say over there somewhere. Simon then leads the enemy towards him, and then we just sit there and wait for the enemy to come, and they will be so dispersed that we will very easily be able to take them apart. Now, we do something similar to that at the moment, in that we do use buildings, and, you know, from my point of view, I have done it in the past, but I would say generally in a deadly, I'm not a good enough player, and my warband are not optimized at all, but they're not optimized enough to be able to handle something like fighting completely out in the open. Other people may be able to do that, but for me, yeah, that's not a possibility. So we will use choke points. We will use things like buildings to give us an advantage. But it's Actually, that worked out well because I forgot what I was talking. The reason I put your fighter beside him was to try and give him the whatchamacallit, the one where he doesn't go crazy. Guidance. There we go. To give him guidance. But yeah, I kind of use a hybrid of that where it's find a choke point, get rid of some of them, and then go hunting the rest, which I find to be, generally more enjoyable for me to play than the way I used to play at the beginning of my Mordheim career, if you like, which was be very conservative and just try to always use choke points. Once you've found your spot, don't move out of it for anything. Generally, I don't do that anymore. There are times when it ends up being that simply because we take out so many enemies that by the time that we are ready to move out, they're already maybe doing route checks. But, you know, there's not much I can do about that. So what I'm thinking of here is, so we've got this bridge here, right, which is on its own as a choke point. So we're obviously going to be using a choke point against them. I want to get ranged people probably up on that bridge there, like not the bridge is going away from us, the bridge that's going across the wooden bridge above Simon's head, and then hit them that way. If I can, I want to find a way down, because I'm already thinking about, again, something that I wouldn't recommend you do in this situation, but I'm thinking about maybe trying to push the bridge myself, which is not a good idea. But it's a fun idea, trying to push our way through the bridge and kind of do, like, almost do the tactics that the AI use against me when I'm on that other side of the bridge, which is the AI generally send maybe one person over the bridge. They send someone then over to kind of Simon's left there, and find a way up through a building there. And then they send someone over to Simon's right, and find a way up over there, and then over to the left of the bridge and do the same thing over there as well. So I'm kind of interested in trying, even though it's actually tactically it's actually bad tactics. At least it's bad, like the AI generally fails against me when they use it. But I think it's kind of an interesting thing to try to do. Can we push our way through the enemies using the methods that generally don't work? So what I'm thinking is maybe the likes of Simon and John and possibly Jeffredo being in that group that try and make their way over a different way. So he's now going to look for his way. Okay. So we check here. Okay, so we see her there. So yeah, I want him to come up through this building here. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to jump down here. And make his way across here. Oh, hi there. Okay. And then seeing as she's there, I want him to ambush there. So again, this is not a tactic I would recommend that you do in this situation, especially in a deadly. My recommendation would be where the group is now, set up there. So you'd have a couple of options, I think. First would be just set up a choke point at the end of the bridge. Use your main damage dealers to deal with either one or two that you allow over the bridge and whittle them down that way. Keep some other guys in the buildings to the side to deal with ones that are eventually going to find a way up a different way, and kind of do it that way. That would be my recommendation. He needs to delay, I think. And then have you arranged in these buildings, protected from the approach so that they can just shoot down and help that. Pretty much that's a guaranteed win in a deadly like this. You're gonna get the odd, crit stun that will maybe put someone in a bit of danger, and depending on how lucky you get, whether you can then swap that person out for the next wave before they get killed or not. You may or may not lose someone as in they go down out of that, but generally you are going to win that fight. So we're going to bring Jafredo down now. Jump down. And what I want to do with you is I want you to take a stance, so you're going to dodge there. So the idea is whoever comes through there is either going to get ambushed by Simon, or if they come around the other way, if they attack Jafredo, they instead are going to they're going to end up being or facing someone who has a decent stance on. Okay, we're going to delay there. There's a bit of delaying involved in this. You're the third delayer, yeah. Okay, John is fine, good. Now, John is going to be... Actually, I was going to use Richard to push the bridge. I'm going to use John instead. So John is going to come up over the bridge. To here. Then I want him to parry there. And he's going to get a support group coming to help him, which includes Hannah. He's going to come over here. So Hannah's job is to overwatch, catch someone just coming up there. Now, may not catch them. I probably should have set John a little behind where he is. Let's put that there to help him out though. Yeah, because really we want people to appear over the lip of those steps. Oh, nice overload. Cheers for that. Oh. Again, I forgot we do have to actually end the turn. Okay, and Mary is going to give us an overwatch. Now, the advantage of Mary's one is she's giving an overwatch down there as well to those guys. And towards John. Now, she might be a little far away from John to actually be able to help him, but the option is still there. Now, Bannister is going to be part of this team. So we're going to jump down here. We hope that this building is open. It is. And you're going to ambush there. So the idea with the team that are coming down here is to basically take people away from that area where John is and deal with them as a group. Same reason why Jafredo and Simon are on the other side as well. basically going to try and sweep the bottom area with them, take out a few people, then get up to the top area and start supporting John Mel then from the other side. So I think the difference we have in our tactic compared to the AI is that we purposely weren't going to go beyond the end of the bridge and allow them to swarm John. So that's the one, kind of, well, there's a couple of points of difference, but that's kind of the major point of difference in that. Now, the other points of difference, oh, that's a nice one, are the fact that each of our groups I feel are properly supported. So we have our range guys and what's his name? He's right there, but I'm forgetting his name. But John is supported by 3 people. Simon and Jeffredo are together, so they're a decent combination already. And then these 2 guys are going to have Richard with them. That's a fairly decent amount of support for them. So for now, I'm going to avoid going outside with him. And the reason is that I don't want to disconnect anyone. And if I sit him just outside the door and he doesn't have a stance, he's going to get disconnected from the others. And that's not what we want. Whereas Richard here can actually go sit outside the door, because he can sit here. We know that there is someone not too far away from here that we're going to want to deal with, but he can sit here and dodge, and he can get attacked, and then the other 2 come and support him. So unlike the AI, what we're doing is, we're thinking about every one of our moves in terms of, okay, well, if we do that, where's the support for that person? And also, how do we make it so that it is to our advantage? So here I'm going to try to trigger her. Okay, we could charge her, but I don't actually want to do that. So instead, he's just going to take his stance there, and then we're going to let her come and attack. So basically what we did there, talking about the support. Okay, that's not good for John, but he does get the hit back, which is good. But talking about the support, we didn't move, like charging would have created that disconnect that the AI always does, or generally does, where what would happen then is Jeffredo would struggle to get into the fight and take a stance as well. So then we got to rush him in to the fight to support, which we don't really want to do. And then when he gets there, then he's vulnerable. Whereas here now, okay, so she's attacked us, right? But imagine if we had gone up and charged that one there, right? It would mean that we would charge, whether we hit or not, she would get an attack on us. Simon may have lost some health. Then this one comes around the corner and she attacks as well. And now he's in a 2-on-1. And now it's imperative that we get Jeffredo around into that fight. So the option then of Jeffredo taking a stance is gone, really, because the more important thing is to try and even up the fight so that Simon potentially doesn't fail an all-alone check when he begins the next round. Whereas here, we're still going to be in a 2-on-2, so it's pretty much the same fight, except we are the ones we are more in control of this fight than they are. So she had to come to us. She's only taking a dodge stance, which is going to make it easier to hit her. I'm going to bring Daniel up here. And for now, Daniel can just sit here. And actually, I want him to sit a bit there, yeah. So for now, he's just the backup. And next turn, he's going to have to put the Blood Idol back up as well. But once we push her off the bridge, he's going to be able to go down and support John then and provide that second melee person that we're going to need once another group of them turn up here. I'm expecting the leader to turn up somewhere once around there once we push the bridge. And then, so here we have, right, Jafredo, so we can come around here and that was part of the plan, obviously hitting that, right? Now, normally, we might have actually, we might have triggered her ambush there, but we can use Simon's one instead to get us around here. But you can see here that Jafredo gets on there. He has 3 blue pills left, which means that he's going to be able to comfortably take a stance. We didn't need to worry about whether, like, you know, we probably could have gotten to her where she is now anyway and taken another stance as well, but we weren't absolutely sure about that. Whereas now, we can double up on this one first, get some decent hits in. Jafredo is going to be able to take its stance, albeit a dodge stance. But now when this other one comes in, I think she can only go for, I might be wrong, but I think she can only go for Jafredo. Okay, so this is the reason why we pulled back a little bit, was to get the angle on her. I mean with, what's his name? Okay, there we go. Right, hand shot. We're going to take it because we're only going to be able to aim one shot this round. So that was kind of a shot to nothing. Then we reload. And then we aim this one. And there we go. That's 40 damage. It's pretty decent. Now, John can put in some damage into her as well. And the good thing about this as well is we have options here now. So she's dead, okay? If we wanted to, we could just push John down the steps, but we're not going to do that because we can do this again. And Mary's going to reload, and then next turn, if no one has come against us, it doesn't matter because it just means that we can then push down next turn and deal with whoever then. Now, Bannister is going to move out. We'll come to here and then dodge. So that's our target there. So what we're trying to do is to entice her, instead of going around to that fight around the corner, which I don't think she's going to be able to get involved in, just because of how narrow that street is. She might maybe sneak up to the side onto Simon, but okay, so Overwatch has gone off, so she's near the end of the bridge, and we see her there. Yeah, so we can go down and deal with her next turn. Now, she's come into this fight, and she's gone for Jafredo, okay? Which means that now that other one there, yeah, she's got to go a different route because she now can't make it here to these guys. Or, well, she's taken, maybe she can sneak up here on our, like, the right of the screen here. But no, she's gone for the other fight. And now she's had to charge to get into this fight. So she now has no stance. We get 2 swings. She doesn't get another swing at all. Now, she's going to come and help as well, but she's not far away. But that's okay, because we're kind of, again, we're kind of in charge of a lot of this stuff. So she's probably going to go, yeah, going to go there. Okay. But again, she's just that little bit too far away. And that's kind of, you know, with the AI, where the kind of subtlety, where the AI kind of lacks the subtlety to do, you know, stuff like this. Where even if we're missing this lady here, we're still in a 2-on-1 against her, and she's going to have to take an all-alone check before the hero that's coming to her aid can act again. Now, Richard has a choice here. He could go and trigger her and just keep her away from either of these guys. If either one was in trouble by now, we could do that. So that's a bit of control for us. For right now, though, it makes more sense to just reduce their numbers. Everyone is doing okay. That may not be the case, you know, some point in the future, and we may make different choices, but right now, this is the right choice for us. Just go for this one as much as we can. Now, it would be nice to hit. There we go. Okay, got some hits in the end. And he can take a sidestep. But that hero now is, for this round, is completely out of it. So she doesn't really have an effect on things at all. The only effect she had was on our decision
New round has started.
where we put Richard. But by then we'd already kind of decided what we're going to do anyway. Because our guys were in good health. Okay, that was good. The first crit of the day always makes it go like that. Right. So she will probably die this turn. And she gets to get back up and then misses her swing, so she's done. Okay, we're going to delay with you, because we are going to push forward now, these guys. We're kind of happy with where the guys down below are at the moment. Neither group are in any particular trouble. And we've actually got a choice here. And normally I would go for this one and try and put her out straight away. Instead I'm going to move to this one. And the reason is, I got 3 swings. And each of those swings is a possibility to crit stun her before she gets to act. Now, this other one, as I said, generally kill her would be the better move. But I think that Simon will have enough to kill her to start the next turn without needing help from Jafredo. And then Simon then can move on to this fight and make it a 2-on-1. Or he's freed up then to go around and help in that other fight where Richard is. You know, if another group turns up there and we need to kind of do an emergency move, we can do that. And then Jafredo can deal with this one on his own. So it makes sense then to, yeah, do that. And now, because that happened in the first hit, it now makes sense to switch back to her. So he didn't hit, but he took her dodge. So it's going to make it easier for Simon to deal with her next turn. Okay, and John has succeeded his stupidity check. Right, so this is the most dangerous part of this whole thing. So I want to pull her to me. Here we go. And he's just going to web steel. He's not even going to get involved in the fight. Yeah. Daniel, let's come over. Daniel's going to go here. Put down his idol of blood. Here. And for now, he's not going to get involved in that fight. He's just going to dodge. We'll reload Hannah. We'll bring her forward. So we have Daniel protecting us pretty much there. So we can shoot from a height. And we're going to aim it because we know that we're only going to take one shot. Okay, we missed. That's fine. Misses happen. Then we just give another layer of protection by overwatching. Where you can reload. Move forward. She can't actually see the target, so she's going to have to move a little, maneuver. Here we go. Okay, we're going to go for the hand shot. It was good. Then we reload. And we're actually going to stay here on Overwatch. So it gives us, this gives us a different type of Overwatch than if we're at the edge. If we're at the edge, the main focus of Overwatch is going to be down below the bridge, really. From here, our Overwatch is really towards that wagon there on the left. So anyone that makes their way up that way and is more of a threat to either John or Daniel. Whereas our other Overwatch is doing that, but also giving support down below on that side of the bridge. So if that lady there decided to maybe go up around that way, that would be a supporting thing for us. If she decides to climb up, both of them will be overwatching her anyway. But let's see what we can do to you. Okay, 1 hit out of 2. And then we take a sidestep. Okay, so that's bad for John. That's really bad for John. And it's the thing, it's a deadly, so these things can happen. But we do have our safeguards in place for him. Here comes the leader. She's using sinful speech. She's going to want to get to John. So her other Overwatch is going to be important as well. She got Judge Unworthy. Okay. Okay. So she's got 2 targets you can go for. And... okay, that was interesting. But she did go for the target that I thought she would. That's why we didn't move him up. That's why we didn't move them up earlier. Because if he got in trouble with her, then he could very quickly go down. And then the way it is now is, okay, we're 3-on-2 against them, but we no longer have the option to move someone onto another fight. So we have to be very strong in what we're doing. Whereas in our other fights, just that flexibility is still there for us. So keeping these guys strong, but then the way we have him positioned as well means that he was only going to be attacked by 2 enemies at once. Okay, so she's dead. And now our cascade works in our favor. And Richard, you know, if we wanted to, we could have sent Richard climb, or he wouldn't have climbed up, but he would have been able to go up through that building and get up there to support John Mel. But John Mel, okay, he's in a little bit of trouble. But I feel like, yeah, he's probably going to be okay. Now we do have an extra person here if we want to send them. But I think Simon is probably going to be the person who's going to go up there. These 3 will probably just deal with her.
A new round has started.
I should actually check where are the people that we need to kill. Okay, she wasn't one. You might have been one. Yeah, that one that we killed probably was one of them. Okay, good. So now again, Simon could fall onto that other fight, but for now I'm going to leave Joffredo because I'm pretty confident with the way things are that she's not going to get any backup anytime soon, because we know we're kind of controlling the approaches, especially if he is going to be making his way up this way. Let's climb up here. And bring him out here. So he's now 1 turn away from supporting there. Right, so now Daniel can come in. Daniel's going to go on this side. Okay. He's not doing any damage, and he's taking damage, but he's still supporting at least. And sidestep. Now John will get to recover before the leader gets to go. I'm going to have both of our ranged people as well, which is going to help us. Now Joffredo will take a while to kill this one. And generally, your leader holding, like, looking at this situation, generally, you would say that she's a hench lady. She's basically holding Joffredo rather than the other way around. But we know Joffredo enough to know that that's not really the case. That Joffredo, you know, getting Joffredo out of here by using someone like Simon to make this fight quicker is not going to be as beneficial. Now we're going to go hand shot. Okay, you can't hit the leader yet, so you need to move up. Yeah, she's one of the people we need to kill.
Completed. Objectives updated.
Oh, I can't see them yet. It's telling me that you can see them now. No, okay. I have to move over here then. Gonna lose the height advantage. Yeah, we want to do shots on her and reload. Then let's have an overwatch just to catch her as she starts to move. Now, if we overwatch with both, we may not. We may actually catch her twice, but I think it's worth trying to do it, just to burn some pills. And then overall it's going to help us anyway in the long run. Here we go. Right, John gets to recover. That miss is costly because that's 10 health that he should have gotten back. There we go. And then he can still take his web of steel, so unless he gets unlucky with rolls from that, he should be okay. Bannister now is free that if we wanted to send him up through that building we could, but I don't think the situation up there at the moment is desperate enough for that. And taking her down is going to take a while anyway. And I'm sure that she's going to get a big hit on one of us. And I don't want to be kind of struggling to try and take her down. There we go, both triggered. Nice parry. Okay, good. Worked out pretty well because those Overwatches, what they did was each time her AI made a different decision than it was making the first time. Because each time when she moved, her decision was move to John Mel and attack. But then when she got hit with the Overwatch, she cast a spell instead. Oh yeah, this is why we wanted 3 people here. But yeah, each time when she got interrupted, her AI made a different calculation and decided to cast a spell instead. And I ate up her red pills. I meant that John only had to parry one time. Now, what just happened there is an example of, the fact that this is a deadly, which means that even when you play what some people might consider perfectly and plan everything out, shit happens, and enemies crit through layers of dodge and then beat the face off one of your people and leave them hanging on by a thread. It doesn't matter how well you're doing overall, there's still that threat on kind of an individual basis that one of your people, you could lose one or more of your people.
A new round has started.
Right, so Simon is now going to come over here. So the thing we do here is we want to cascade onto the leader, which means that we want to get rid of this one. Okay, not working at the minute. Now the other option would have been to send Simon around to the leader and give her another target. Let's pop that there. But for now, I'm trusting John to be able to look after himself, at least for a round or two. That may be problematic given that he did get smashed in the face. It didn't end well for him, but we'll see. I've also got the option as well. We're right beside the cart. One of our ranged people could go and take their idol if we need to. Look at this Chafredo actually showing that he can be useful at times. I just wish he had that blue pill back. Okay, let's reload it. You. Okay, unlucky. Let's end your turn. Right, John. Okay, perfect. She's gone. He's got a round of one-on-one with her. That's why we're trying to help out with the ranged. To try to do, some kind of limiting on what she's going to be able to do. I think maybe here is going to be where you want to be. No? There we go. Okay. Missed with the hand shot. It's fine. Maybe the aim shot will be better. Okay, there we go. And that's why these guys were sent with this group over the bridge. Yeah, he's still very vulnerable. But we have 2 other people there to help him. If they miss, well, that's just tough luck, I guess. Another good parry. She probably has one more swing. No, okay. Good. And there's one advantage of having 3 people in the fight. She's got 2 other targets to go for other than the vulnerable guy. Or dodge. Then the miss. Okay. Still gives Richard a chance though to come through. Two more hits. One more. Okay, that's her done. Now. So another thing about what we did as well is, as you can see, once the guys take care of the stuff, they're not actually that far away from the other groups. Even though we made 3 distinct groups, there is still some sort of support between them. Now, it's not a case of, hey, we need you over here right now, or people are going to die. That kind of support we can't give. But when it's, you got 2 turns to get there and help out, you can do it. And that's why it was important for us when we came off the bridge that we didn't push too far, because we would have been pushing away from that support. And yeah, John got critted twice and got stunned, but the leader couldn't get to him while he was stunned. And now we bought enough time to get other people here, and he still could go down, but it's not about like this game is, well, for me at least, it's not about guaranteeing outcomes. It's about making the outcome that you want be more likely. And I think today we're doing that pretty well. Like, this is a deadly, and I know when I did my first deadlies, I was so scared of going into any fight at all, and the idea of fighting in the open was just like, what? Why would you do that? But it's possible. It's possible if you kind of have an idea of what is your overall strategy in terms of actually doing that. You know, if you're going to fight in the open, what you don't want to do is fight somewhere that is very convenient for all their people to gang up on you. Because the thing about, you know, if you're fighting in a deadly out in the open, the thing that that helps you most is the fact that you're fighting somewhere where you think that you can either have more people than them or an equal number of people to them. Now, obviously, you want to have more people than them, but yeah, that's what you want. Like, is you don't want the numbers going against you, and then you want as well to be able to have support that can get to you, or alternately, what you want is to have, you know, someone who you say, okay, if we need to delay the enemy, this person here can go and do that. And although they may end up going out of action, they're going to save, you know, so you're sending a henchman maybe to save a hero or something by delaying. But also then you that's not the only way you can delay. You can delay with overwatches as well. You know, that's why we were very conservative with these shots we were taking. We always leave ourselves, well, most of the time leave ourselves on Overwatch, because those add up over time, and those little delays, you know, delaying someone from getting into a fight by a round means that any potential damage that they would have done that round, you don't take. Also, even if they didn't do any damage, any stances they would take away, so dodges or parries, doesn't happen either. And then on top of that, when the next round comes around, rather than them being in the fight and being ready to, you know, to go and to do whatever they're going to do, you saw with her, we were able to get a number of shots in on her with the Overwatches to burn through her red pills before she got in. And that's really what you're looking for and stuff like that, is that you're out in the open, so you're no longer controlling the environment, as I would say, like the I don't know what military people would call it. You're no longer controlling that area. So you then need to, you know, the other factors then you need to be controlling or trying to control. So that is how many enemies are going to be attacking you, in what kind of strength compared to you, where, like, can they get to your vulnerable people? That's something I didn't mention much, but it is important as well, is the whole idea of them only being able to get to your frontline guys rather than bypassing them and maybe going for weaker people, is also an important thing. We're going to start going this way just in case we need to find another one to kill. But yeah, for stuff like this, you know, as I said, there are plenty of ways that you can be in control, even in the deadly outside. I think they're I'm pretty sure they're going to fail. He's going to stay there. There we go. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I think the guys did well. And again, like,
Decadent trappings of order shall be cast down. The triumph of chaos is inevitable. The
okay, yeah.
will remember his loyal servants
Okay,
and
yeah, I was
place
speaking,
in
so
darkness.
wrap it up. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, so the thing I was going to say was that if you look at my warband, right, we got, there's tons of people with injuries and stupidity and this, that, and the other, right? And then I also have tons of people who have unspent pills or points for skills and spells and stuff like that as well. So, you know, we're not an optimized warband. So when we go into a deadly, we already know that, like, if it was a straight fight, basically line up all 9 or all 10 people or whatever and match them off, you know, leader to leader, hero to hero, all the way down the line, and just had a slugfest, we are going to lose, and we're going to lose badly. So that's the thing that I like about this game, is that I can go in with what is, by any measure, an inferior warband against them, and I can still pull a win out where, okay, we had a couple of people who got crit stunned, but we lost nobody, and we took out heroes, we took out hench ladies, we took their idol, and we could have gone on and swept the rest of the warband. You know, we obviously would have had to leave a couple of people, at least one person behind to keep them safe, but at that stage we had so many more people than them that if we needed to go and find the rest of our warband and take them out, that would have been pretty easy for us to do. And, you know, that's why I just keep coming back to this game, is because you can do stuff like that. Now, some people like building a warband or a character in the game or whatever that is just so OP that they wipe the floor with anything that they come across. But for me, that's never been appealing. Whereas knowing that I'm inferior, but I can still put up a fight and pull out a win, that is what I love about this game. But anyway, enough of me prattling on. Hopefully, you know, some of what I said was helpful to people who are maybe new to the game, because I know, like, veterans are not going to look at, you know, not going to listen to what I'm doing and watch what I'm doing as well and think, oh yeah, I can learn something from this guy. Because let's face it, if you've played this game as long as I have, you're probably better at the game than I am. That's just kind of an objective fact, I think. But for newer players, hopefully it is kind of encouraging, because it can be, when you start the game first, there is that learning curve where even on normals, especially starting out with a new warband where you haven't kind of found your niche or your style, it can be very hard to try to imagine that at some point you're going to be able to take on deadlies, but you will be able to. And it's just about kind of it's not like oh, let's look at Bardon's tactics and copy them, because I'm sure my tactics could be greatly improved. What it's about really is finding the style that you like to play, because that's important, I think. Is because you know, if you're gonna like this game, you're gonna put in a lot of hours, I feel, because it does have tons of replayability. So finding the style that suits you, and finding a way to win with that style, So I've, through the time playing Mordheim, I've played with very, very different styles. I had like the Reckless Rangers, who were basically, let's find a building. Pretty much everybody is ranged, apart from one or two. So let's find a building we can hold up in and just shoot the crap out of the enemy. And I could win with that style, but it wasn't all that exciting a lot of the time. Then I had another style which was kind of a similar thing to that, except use it with melee, find a place to hold up, and go, let the enemy come to you and deal with them then. And now I've kind of not completely gone away from that style, but gone to the point where it's more about kind of almost, how can I put it? Like it's like taking the overall battle and making small chunks or mini fights out of each of them, and then not being as concerned about everyone always being together. It's more about, for me at least, it's more about whatever you're doing in terms of when you're splitting your guys. It's about being in control of who you fight, where you fight, and also being able to cope with, the unexpected. So someone gets critted. What's your response? If your response is, oh well, I was relying on that person to do that job and I don't have them anymore, and there's nothing I can do, well, you need to probably tweak your tactics a little bit. Whereas if it's a case of, okay, well, I'm hoping they don't go down, but while they're there, I have this other group here, I can move someone over, or someone who was ranged, I'm going to switch their weapons and just put them in for a round or two, just to maybe try and get an all alone check or whatever it is, whatever that tactic is. I think it's about control where you fight, who you fight, and then have options for being flexible with your plan, where if this group are free, they can go over and help that group if that group need help. If not, they can push on and do something else. But yeah, again, I'm prattling on. I hope someone out there finds it useful. But yeah, we're going to continue on. Okay, and we are going to pay our treatment costs because a couple of people got light wounds. Pay our upkeep. Now the good thing I like about the light wounds is it gives us one battle where we're not going to have everybody on, so we're going to have 7 people for this. So we've got a brutal. Okay, we might do the brutal, but Wordstone Rush doesn't really do it for me. Like, it's Wordstone Rush is the one optional objective that I never even consider trying to get. Whereas Mark for Death or Crush the Will, I'm at least going to consider giving it a go. Right, so we have, Mark for Death, brutal. And also, I find as well, with the Mark for Death, it makes it more challenging. Now, that can be a bad thing, right? Because I know a lot of my people have there's a reason why I have a lot of injured people, okay? Because something like Mark for That will make the AI do something that they don't always do, which is gang up on people. Because they have whatever, 2 or 3 people, probably in this one it's going to be 2. They're going to have 2 people that they want to get to, and all of them want to get to those 2 people, rather than them kind of splitting their people around. So in the case of the last one, say we have John Mel, and then we had somebody else also got a little bit damaged, or a lot damaged actually. that if that was a mark for death, if one of those was the target, they probably would have gone out of action, because there just would have been that extra 1 or 2 people who were targeting them and just putting in an extra little bit of damage that would have put it over the top to take them down. But yeah, I'm going to look forward to that next time. Again, if my prattling along isn't your thing, apologies, but hopefully someone enjoyed it at least. I hope you enjoyed the video overall. I hope you keep safe out there, and see you next time. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button there on the right, or checking out some other videos here on the left, or perhaps you might even share with some friends.